So, there's some interesting things, actually. I just found this out, and I believe it to be true. Hillary Clinton begs forgiveness from the Rothschilds. These central bankers, man. I cannot believe that Alex Jones is now going to be given a smidgen of respect talking about these globalist bankers. You know, it's like Syria isn't under the globalist bankers, so we got to get the Rothschild system. I mean, this is incredible stuff. So Hillary Clinton asked Lady Day Rothschilds, let me know what penance I owe. So just 2 months ago, Hillary Clinton took a private jet to visit her lady puppet master. And no media coverage even came out of this. So that's incredible. Now, these emails, I think Wikileaks, in the long run, Wikileaks is going to have, they're going to have an effect. They're going to, people are going to be talking about the information that comes out. Donald Trump in the Al Smith dinner, he had said that she's got an intense hatred for Catholics. Now, there's nothing to that, but it did lead me to see what it is that they were saying. Oh, it's so deplorable, these comments are so reprehensible. Stop saying that. These comments are so reprehensible. I looked at the comments. These are actually good things. This is good. They said that they wanted to have a progressive revolution in the Catholic Church. They said that it's a medieval, the bishops are employing a kind of medieval, dictatorships, a Middle Ages dictatorship. And they absolutely do. I don't even understand the entire organization. It's almost like they trick people, get them to come into the church, give them money, and then they go buy a bunch of property. The St. Joseph Catholic Church is where I was confirmed, and I think I was baptized there in Warsaw, and the guy there, his name is Father, right? Father, because they're always above you. And he's got a huge farm in Corinth. So, they don't care about the poor. They don't care about the homeless. They take all the money and they, buy more land for themselves. And it's all under the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has so much land. And they're the oldest, for thousands of years, they were killing people. The Spanish Inquisition. If you're not Catholic, then you would get murdered. You would get killed. And so what's it all about? I think it's all about the hierarchy. It's all about the hierarchy. There's the Pope, there's the bishops, there's the priest, and then there's the man, the woman, and the children. And why did all that shit happen to the children? Sinead O'Connor was absolutely right to rip up the picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live. And we chastised her as a collective. But we said, oh my God, how disrespectful is that? Why is that disrespectful? She says, yeah, child abuse, yeah, when she made the things, a Bob Dylan song. Everywhere is war, war in the east, war in the west, war up north, war down south, everywhere is war. And so she was speaking out about child abuse before all this child abuse allegations came out. So we should listen to, I can't believe this. God, I'm so frustrated because it's like we give people so much hell for doing the right thing, And so the people that eventually emerge and help, all of humanity out, they have to they have to survive so much bullshit just to emerge and help everybody out. Why must fighting for humanity, peace and freedom and love and dignity, why are these things so universally hated? Why are these things hated? This is just amazing. Let's take a look at some of these things. Okay, so the emails released last week by Wikileaks, Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta, Jennifer Palmiero, both are Catholics. They're having conversations with activists from two left-wing organizations. They said that the Catholics, the conservative Catholics, that's who they're talking about. Not all Catholics, not the progressive Catholics, not the, what's that Pope's name? Not his kind of Catholics. He's actually been a breath of fresh air. He said a bunch of progressive things. He says we need to care about the environment, we need to care about each other, we need to downplay abortion and homosexuality, while those are still Catholic tenets, it's not the only thing. And then he also says that atheists can get to heaven, and so therefore it's all about being a good person. So if anything, Pope, what's his name? Pope Francis has been, pretty remarkable, pretty amazing. But before Pope Francis, you have a lot of, conservative Catholics, and they have bastardized the religion. They don't care about the poor. We have all these, Christian churches around here. If they truly cared about the poor, they don't care about the poor, but if they truly cared about the poor, we wouldn't have poverty. If we actually were invested in trying to solve it, but it's like Mother Teresa, she wants to enjoy their suffering so she gets to go to heaven, and so we all suffer, and then that's how we get to heaven, which doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody. You want to solve poverty? I got one. Land reform. Boom. Poverty's gone. Land reform. Or universal basic income. Universal basic income. Everybody gets a Social Security check. Cut out all the other bureaucratic nonsense. You had your $15,000 check and you wasted it on heroin. Now I don't feel sorry for you. But we have no such safety net. People slip off all the time in the wealthiest country in the world. So they are severely backwards. They do have an amazing bastardization of the faith. And then they said something about mocking Rupert Murdoch for baptizing his children as Catholics in the River Jordan, which was what John the Baptist supposedly did with Jesus. And it was like, well, look at what he's doing. Then they also said that the U.S. Church's bishops were a Middle Ages dictatorship. They are. They are. So to say that she has a strong hatred for Catholics, that's wrong. Maybe a strong hatred for conservative Catholics. That would be more accurate. And you know what? Fuck them. Fuck conservative Catholics. Now, when it comes to religion, I go back and forth on this. Some of me feels like, Hitchens. Chris Hitchens, he said that overall, religion is just bad. It's just bad. You have an invisible person in the sky, and you pretend that this crazy illusions are true. You force this beliefs upon everybody else, and that's the only thing it seems like church is for. You go in there to make yourself feel good. You have this collective delusion. We don't have any social structures, right? Bowling alone. Robert Putnam, if you know anything about that. But essentially, our organizations are dwindling, and so there isn't any outlet. There isn't any places where we actually gather. Where's the civil society? Where's the beer halls? In Germany, where are the places where we go to talk about politics and to make our city halls or the town hall meetings? We don't have democracy here. We don't have solidarity. We don't have a civil society. And without a civil society, we can't discuss and make anything better. We're just supposed to get in line, and it's all about the damn hierarchy. And fuck the hierarchy. Hierarchy is where, I would say, the majority of evils come from. One person, we all got to follow this one person, and instead of all of us gathering together and overthrowing the dictator, instead we're all divided, and, okay, let's keep on going here. It says, Paul Meyer said one of the emails conservatives had come to Catholicism. They thought it was a socially acceptable political conservative religion, and the rich friends wouldn't understand if they became evangelicals, the launch of progressive infiltration. So that's all they said. They want a Catholic spring, and they do. Catholics do need a Catholic spring. So what I was trying to say was that overall, I believe I'm mostly anti-theist. I believe that, having a collective delusion, believing in shit that's not there, believing in voodoo, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. This is kind of crazy, and I think you need atheists. I saw this one picture, I think it was Iran before, or Afghanistan, before and after the revolution, where it seemed like it was westernized. They had, just T-shirts and stuff in college, and then after the revolution, they were all wearing burqas, and so it's like, oh my God, that's not progress. That's going backwards. But we have very similar things here. We're going backwards instead of going forward. So we do need a Catholic spring. I have the actual WikiLeaks thing here, Podesta's emails, and it says that friggin' Murdoch baptized his kids in the Jordan, where John the Baptist baptized Jesus. And then they said most of the powerful elements are all the conservative movement are Catholic, many converts from the SC, Southern Conference, maybe, and think tanks of the media and social groups. It's amazing bastardization of the faith. They must be attracted to the systemic thought and severely backwards gender relations, and must be totally unaware of Christian democracy. Okay, so the things that I think that is good about religion, I like Martin Luther King. He was a Christian Democrat, a social Democrat. So, Democratic, small d Democrat. I don't know what his political affiliation actually was. I think it was Democrat. But I'm talking about he's for democracy. He's for socialism, and he's a Christian. There's Dorothy Day. There's Oscar Romero. There's a lot of people that have done good work in the names of religion. But I know that they've had pushback. Hey, don't be good. Don't do the right thing. What? Didn't know what Jesus was about? Standing up for convictions, doing what's right. There's a difference between obedience and morality. Obedience is doing what you're told regardless if it's right or wrong, and morality is doing what's right regardless of what you're told. That's where we should be. You want to talk about morality? I don't think that they have morality. I think they have blind faith. Shut your mouth, get in line, do what, the Pope, Bishop, priest says, and then the father, mother, children. It's very strict hierarchy. So yeah, I do think conservative Catholicism is bullshit. So this is actually a point in Hillary's column. This is a good thing. Hillary has people that saying that Catholics need to become progressive. Good, because they have messed up the faith. They have talked, it's all about gay marriage and all this bullshit. And I think that that's very destructive in of itself for straight people. It's for everybody, okay? And the abortion thing, I just think that there's a lot of things that conservative Christians have really messed up. Then they don't, okay. They didn't, like I said about the poverty, they haven't done anything about poverty. We got poverty all over the damn place. There's no reason that anybody should starve on the streets. With land reform, people can raise their own food, and with a universal basic income, then that automatically, poverty is gone. Nobody's poor. You got $15,000 check, that's, for food, that's for clothing, that's for housing. It's not a very good, you're eking out of barely an existence, but that's better than nothing. There's no social safety net. There are people that's homeless in every major city in the United States. Homelessness. Well, we're going to listen to Donald Trump's and the Hillary Clintons of the world, the 1% establishment. What do they know about having to live out of their car? What do they know? There was that one homeless guy, I think it was out in California, where they was like, hey, come here. And the level you submit to is the level of injustice perpetuated upon you. And as soon as he complied, they beat the living shit out of him until he died. And he's crying for his mom, and he's crying for his father. And I know Christians, Catholics, who didn't give a shit about that, females, who didn't care about that at all. And I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting how a lot of this crap happens. And because we're a capitalist society, dog eat dog, everybody's doing their own thing, got their own jobs, somebody will get beat up. Somebody is bad, something bad will happen to one person, and then everybody else will just watch. Kind of like that "Don't Tase Me, Bro" video, right? He gets up and asks a question to John Kerry, and all those white faces just sat in the audience. I don't know what to do, I don't know if they're cops or security guards. I don't know what the solution is, but I think a little bit of outrage, maybe, hey, don't talk to him, don't treat him like that, but it's hierarchy. John Kerry is talking. We all need to listen to what John Kerry is saying. The guy can even ask a question, and then he gets beat up and he gets tased. And the entire, mass, the white people just watch that shit happen. So, that's immorality right on the face of it. There's no excuse for that. They weren't working at a job. They weren't doing anything. They were right there on the scene. And they couldn't even say, hey, don't do that. Because the guy was asking a question, and so he seemed to be expressive. He was like, well, I would never, ever challenge John Kerry on anything. And he was asking about skulls and bones. He had 3 questions. We should have listened to what John Kerry's answers would have been to those questions. They're good questions. But that means we don't have a democracy. We don't have free speech. We don't have a democracy. We don't have a vibrant discussion. No civil society. It's frustrating, man. This is frustrating to me. So whether or not Hillary, she has a hatred towards all Catholics. I don't know. She's a Methodist, right? So she's a kind of Christian. So I think there's some kinship. One Christian would have it to another. Donald Trump went on about God bless you and I love God and you can't question God and all this other crap. So, I don't know if that's pander, if that's actual truth, but it's insanity. It's a collective insanity, and, You know, I think you have a right to be stupid, but frankly, I will oppose that. I think that's bullshit. I think it's dumb. Why would you want to be stupid? Instead, you know, I think all we have really to go on is logic. Logic and reason and evidence. And that's not everything. In fact, there's a lot of unexplained phenomena that happens. But that's all we got. That's all we got is science and logic and reason. And if you're not even thinking in a scientific mind and you're just saying, oh, give it to God and He'll take care of everything, you're gone, man. You're so far gone. You're hurting everybody that you're around, and because you're ignorant and stupid and have faith in something that isn't even there. But if that's all you got is faith, you don't have morality, you don't have decency, you don't have democracy, you don't believe in democracy or solidarity or civil society, you just don't care about these things. So yeah, that's basically it. It was about the Catholics, about his comment about her hating the Catholics. She doesn't hate all Catholics. She seems to not like the conservative Catholics, which makes sense to me. I don't give a crap about the conservative Catholics. In fact, when I remember I want to say 2008, maybe 2012, when she ran against Obama, her biggest thing was that she hated the Republicans and we need to smash the Republicans, but Barack said that we needed to work with the Republicans. And so she was awesome then. Now she's become the Republican. The Republicans have been pushed off into insanity, and this is the dress rehearsal for fascism, as Chris Hedges says. I mean, this is scary stuff. This is some scary stuff. We don't have the institutions for media, for working class parties. They are not strong. They haven't been developed. We just now start talking about socialism. It's not a cuss word anymore, so we had an awakening, a raising of consciousness, but it's not a movement, and it hasn't turned into institutions. So we're starting from scratch. We're starting from scratch, and the only person that'll save us, Jill Stein, when it comes to the environment, saving us from global warming, when it comes to the student debt bubble exploding and descending us into another great recession, and we'll have to bail out the banks one more time, when it comes to homelessness and police brutality and the ending the war on drugs. The war on drugs is why Mexico is such a mess. So the one solution that Mexico needs to employ, they won't do it. In fact, Hillary says that we still need more research. We still need more research into marijuana. She doesn't know if it's bad. And even Donald, I think he was for it at one time, but he's only said medical marijuana, which is such a cop-out. They are not principled people. They're panders. And, Donald says it like it is. No, he doesn't. He doesn't say it like it is. He's stoking a lot of bullshit and... Yeah, it's scary stuff because Jill Stein is the only one that's going to save this country, and right now she's not polling too well. So what are we going to do? I think it'll be the remnants of her campaign and the people that support her that'll actually build something and that will save this country, if this country will allow it. People keep saying voting for the lesser of the two evils. Keep voting for the lesser two evils. Well, we've been doing that, and that's why we're in the situation that we're at now. We should be, true democracy should be welcoming, of new voices and more choices, and have a robust discussion so we can find out the best ideas, in the great circle, in the great pool of ideas. The best ideas should prevail. And the only way we'll find out what the best ideas are is if we actually have a real conversation, an honest conversation. And we're not getting that conversation with these two clowns, with the way that they keep going back and forth. So I think it's bullshit that overall, my point before I end this is that her pandering to the Rothschilds blows my mind, meaning that she cares about centralized bankers in Europe. Their well-being is more important than anybody else. And, that's bullshit. These emails about the Catholic Church, Donald Trump is, he was right to point it out that there's something there, but his analysis and, attack that he uses with that analysis is wrong. The conservative Catholics are shitty people. They're shitty people. I think they go to church just to feel like they're good people, so they feel like hey, we're good people because we believe in God and we do this and we do... No, you don't. You're not good people. You only care about the hierarchical things. right? Do what the Pope says, do what Daddy says, and then all the no stealing, no murder, no rape, and all that stuff. Man, there's not even a no rape clause in the Ten Commandments. Yeah, good set of laws there. 3 of them have to do with, believing in God and other horse shit. But no, don't rape. That wasn't in it. But there is don't covet your neighbor's wife. That's something. And don't covet your neighbor's goods. Well, we live in a capitalist society. Our entire society is based on coveting goods. If not your neighbor's, then what the TV tells you. So that's my analysis on those 2 sets of emails. She's wrong with the Lady Rothschild being a kiss-ass, a throne sniffer, as I just heard Tucker Carlson say, and with the conservative Catholics, she's half right on, or she's actually totally right on. Well, half right, because the progressive Catholics still believe in shit that's not there. But if we can get a Martin Luther King or a Dorothy Day or an Oscar Romero that actually listened to what Jesus had to say and acted on, in the name of Jesus, and they want to be good people, that's remarkable. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that, and so I will err on the side of being an anti-theist, that religion is just bullshit. Nothing good comes out of religion. And so yeah, that's my take on Hillary hating Catholics.